12 million years ago, the world was a different battlefield of survival humid forests, tangled vines, and a constant orchestra of unseen dangers. In these ancient woodlands, early apes leaped across branches, unaware that the deadliest threat was into the tiger-like predators on the forest floor, or the giant birds circling above. Their greatest enemy hid in silence, wrapped in coils of muscle and patience, a monster snake capable of hunting creatures nearly its own size. This is the forgotten story of a predator so powerful and so silent that even the bravest beasts of the Miocene feared its shadow. The forests of that era were thick with life. Every branch echoed with the movements of early apes, small, agile, and constantly alert. They spent most of their lives in trees, believing height kept them safe from danger. But the monster snake had learned their patterns. It didn't chase. It didn't roar. It simply waited. And when the perfect moment arrived, the forest fell silent for a heartbeat before the kill. The snake was a relic of an age when reptiles ruled rivers and forests. It wasn't as massive as the later titanobo, but for its time, it was a giant up to 20 feet long, thick-bodied and built like a living trap. Its scales blended into the shadows where sunlight broke through leaves and broken patches. It could remain still for hours or even days, watching. And the moment an ape, distracted by food or play, ventured too close, the forest turned from playground to graveyard. On one such morning, a troop of early apes climbed down lower branches to search for ripe fruit. Their leader, a cautious male, scanned the forest. The air was thick, humid, and strangely quiet. No crackling leaves, no chirping insects, no distant calls, just silence. But the hunger of the group pushed them forward. They reached a cluster of fruit trees, unaware that the monster snake had already coiled itself around a branch nearby, perfectly disguised among the twisting vines. Its heat-sensing pits detected the warm bodies of the apes, each movement like a signal calling it to strike. One young ape, curious and bold, climbed on a branch closer to the trunk where shadows were deepest. It plucked a fruit, unaware of the danger inches behind it. The snake's body tightened, each muscle preparing for explosive movement. When it struck, it did so faster than a blink. Its jaws locked onto the ape's shoulder, pulling it back with terrifying force. Before the ape could scream, coils wrapped around its body, crushing ribs and stopping the heart in seconds. The troop fled upward in panic, their cries echoing through the forest. But for the snake, the hunt was already done. Predators in the Miocene didn't waste energy. The snake dragged its meal into the canopy, using its powerful muscles to anchor itself between branches while beginning the slow, methodical process of swallowing. Other animals watched from a distance, ancient cats, raptors, and opportunistic scavengers each, knowing that interfering with such a predator could turn them into the next victim. For hours, the snake fed, and once it finished, it descended into the underbrush to hide and digest for weeks. Life continued in a cycle of fear and adaptation. The apes learned from each loss. They began to recognize certain smells, certain patches of silence, the stillness that signaled death. Their brains grew sharper, their senses more attuned. And through this, evolution quietly pushed them toward intelligence, because in a world filled with silent predators, only the most alert survived. But the snake was not the only danger. The forest was ruled by creatures competing for survival. Saber-toothed relatives lurked near waterholes. Giant birds hunted smaller mammals with lightning-fast strikes. Massive crocodilians patrolled the rivers, dragging anything that moved into muddy depths. Every corner of the ancient world held a threat. But none were as unpredictable as the monster snake that appeared without warning. As the seasons changed, drought struck the region. Rivers shrank, forcing animals to move closer together. Apes that once moved freely now traveled in tighter groups, constantly scanning for predators. The snake, too, was affected. Lower water levels forced it deeper into the forest, where prey was more abundant. Its hunger sharpened, and its movements became more daring. One dry evening, when the sun dipped low and shadows stretched long, the troop of apes gathered around a rare waterhole. They were desperate, thirsty, and exhausted. Their leader watched from a low branch, scanning the ground for danger. The forest seemed calm, but beneath a mat of fallen leaves near the water's edge, the snake waited. It had positioned itself perfectly, using the remaining water as a lure. When a smaller ape moved toward the edge, dipping its hand into the water, the snake's head shot upward. Water exploded, leaves flew, and the ape shrieked as jaws clamped onto its leg. The troops scattered in panic. The leader rushed forward, grabbing the struggling ape's arms, but the strength of the snake was overwhelming. With one powerful pull, the snake dragged its prey beneath the shallow pool, and the water turned still once more. But this time, the troop didn't retreat completely. Something changed. The leader screamed, rallying the group. They climbed low branches, shaking them, throwing broken sticks and shrieking. Their noise disturbed other animals, including a nearby large predator that approached the commotion. The forest erupted with chaos-snarling mammals, flapping birds, and distressed apes. The snake, sensing danger, released its grip and fled into the brush, leaving the injured ape behind. This moment became a turning point. For the first time, cooperation saved a life from the monster snake. It marked the early beginnings of social intelligence communication, unity, and courage against overwhelming odds. Behaviors like these would shape the path of primate evolution for millions of years. The snake, though still feared, slowly lost its dominance as forests changed and new predators emerged. Climate shifts altered landscapes. The once thick tropical forests thinned in places, limiting cover for ambush hunters. The apes grew smarter, developed stronger group behavior, and learned how to detect hidden threats. Over time, the predator that once ruled the shadows found fewer opportunities to hunt creatures capable of recognizing its silent approach. Yet the legend of the giant serpent persisted in the instincts of primates. Even today, humans feel a deep, ancient fear when walking through dense forests or hearing the rustle of leaves beneath their feet. Our reflexive fear of snakes, the jump our heartbeat makes at the sight of a slithering shape, those instincts are born from countless generations. Surviving deadly hunters like the monster snake of 12 million years ago, the story of that age is not just about predators and prey. It is a tale of evolution, of intelligence forged through danger, and of the fragile balance of life in a world far older than our species. The monster snake remains one of the forgotten giants of prehistory, silent architect of the instincts we still carry today. Its range shaped the early apes, who would one day become the ancestors of modern humans. And though its bones lie buried beneath layers of time, its presence is still felt in the shadows of every forest, in the rustle of every branch, and in the primal memory of survival etched into our DNA.